Client is one who applies to an attorney or a lawyer or a counselor for advice in the direction of question of law. So if you hire an attorney, you will become known as a client. A client is also called, quote, a ward of the court, end quote, in regard to his relationship with his attorney. So if you hire an attorney, you're a client. And if you're a client, the law says you are a ward of the court. Why is this important? Because in Black's Law Dictionary, it says a ward of the court is an infant or person of unsound mind. Basically meaning if you hire an attorney, you're an idiot. Why? Because if you had any sense, you wouldn't be in court to start with. Why do we have a court? You play basketball and tennis on a court. How do you play tennis on a court? With a racket. Why? The whole thing's a racket. You think they use these terms by chance? You better go back and do your homework. There's something bigger going on here. I'll talk about courts in a minute. One of my favorite subjects is law. I know nothing about it. I'm fascinated with it. You talk about being human. Well, I have human rights. The Human Rights Commission. In a law dictionary, you know what the word human means in a law dictionary? Hue is a word for color. So you're a colored person. Hue, man. You look up the word human in a law dictionary, and it says, sea monster. Law dictionary, not Jordan Maxwell. Sea monster. Okay, you look up the word monster. A monster is a human being by birth, but in some parts resembling a lower animal. A monster, having no inheritable blood and cannot be an heir to any land. So much for being a human being. And of course, that is the way superior authorities on the earth view the human family. I have for many years made myself known around the world as being a revolutionary, radical thinker. I have a lot of problems with government and tyranny, totalitarian fascism. Like Indiana Jones said in one of his movies, I don't like Nazism. I don't like Nazis. I don't like tyranny. I don't believe the God that created us divinely ordained us to be in chains. I think that the human spirit has always and will always rise above petty politics. But I also understand, I may not agree with necessarily, but I do understand the thinking of powerful men who look upon the masses as nothing but a bunch of sheep. Because in point of fact, many of us act like that. There was a quote in Orwell, 1984, original edition. Julian Huxley said this in the foreword, quote, as political and economic freedom diminishes, sexual freedom tends compensatingly to increase. The dictator, unless he needs cannon fodder or families with which to colonize the empty and conquered territory, will do well to encourage that freedom, in conjunction with the freedom to daydream, under the influence of narcotics, the movies, the radio, and it will now help to reconcile his subjects to the servitude which is now their fate. So the people who run this world know that most people couldn't care less about truth. America's not the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're not free or brave. Need to wake up and find out we're just here.